What's better than a Mad for Plaid project bag by Sew Emma? How about one that you've stitched on? Welcome back to 123stitch.com. Today I want to talk to you about the Mad for Plaid project bags by Sew Emma. If you haven't discovered these yet, you're in for a big treat. Before we get started though, go ahead and click on that thumbs up icon so we know you like what we're doing, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on a thing. So the Mad for Plaid project bags by Sew Emma are made of heavy vinyl. They measure about 10 by 16 inches. They have a zipper closure at the top and this pleated area at the bottom, which lets you hold all kinds of stuff. They're really big and roomy, nice big size. I can put my pattern, my frame, my fabric, my needles, my thread, everything in here. It all fits nice and neat in one spot. What I like to do is to use one for each project that I'm working on, put everything in there, set it aside, and then when I'm ready to go for the day, whatever project I want to choose, I grab that bag and I'm good to go. The other fun thing about these bags is they have these little holes on them. So of course you can stitch a design on them, and why not? So Shepherd's Bush has a whole line of patterns that you can stitch on these beautiful bags, and I'm going to show them to you today. The bags themselves come in this beautiful selection of colors, so there's something for everyone. First, I'm going to show you the bags that I have stitched already. This one is stitched that I showed you earlier. I love this. It's done on a olive green bag. Here's the pattern by Shepherd's Bush. It's done on an olive green bag, and you stitch it with a number 5 Weeks Dye Works pearl cotton, as well as DMC number 5 pearl cotton. You stitch over 2 threads. And I think what held me back at the beginning with stitching one of these is the thought of trying to stitch from inside the bag. But of course you don't have to do that. You can use the sewing method and stitch right from the top. It stitches up so easily. If you don't know what the sewing method is, stick around till the end. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy. I like this a lot, and I think it would make a great gift for a friend that stitches. Not this one, of course. I'm keeping this one for myself. The second one that I've already stitched is this one called Queen Bee. Here's the pattern from Shepherd's Bush, and here's what I stitched. And I actually started stitching this one yesterday and finished it up this morning, so it doesn't take long to do it all. And this one is done on the Misty or aqua colored bag. Same thing, Weeks Dye Works number 5 and DMC number 5 pearl. This one though is embellished with buttons from Just Another Button Company. You could probably leave those off, but they do add such a nice little touch to the design, so I would put them on for sure. Let me show you some of the other patterns they have. So they have a whole seasonal series. This one is called Spring, and it was stitched on the peony or pink colored bag, and it is embellished with buttons from Just Another Button Company. One thing I forgot to mention is that on all of these patterns, they also show them finished as a pincushion and a scissors fob. And that is just the same pattern stitched on a linen, so they're gonna end up a whole lot smaller. For the fob, they just picked out a motif or two from the design and made the little fob out of it. So that one's Spring. The next one up is Summer. Isn't that bright and cheerful? That's done on the corn silk or yellow bag and is embellished with Just Another Button Company buttons. Next we have Autumn, and I love this one because it's done on that beautiful pumpkin colored bag. I love that, love the colors, and embellished with buttons again. You can leave the buttons off, of course, but I really like them on there. This one is the winter bag, and this one I think I'm going to make next because I love that little snowman, and winter's coming up, so why not? And this one is done on the Bluebell or blue bag. Then we have the flag bag, patriotic design, done on the berry colored bag. And then we have a quilt bag. Now this one would be fun for a stitcher because you don't have to put a quilter or a sewer, anybody that likes quilting. This one is done on the blue bag, but of course you could put any supplies you want in the bag. You could use any color bag. It's all up to you. Then we have the scary bag. This one, cute little Halloween design done on the gray bag. And we have the sampler bag for those sampler fans out there. This one's done on the burlap or tan colored bag. And lastly, we have the Joy bag, done on the berry colored bag. This would be a great little Christmas gift for a stitcher, and I could just see you filling with all kinds of little stitching goodies or any kind of goodies. Anyone would love this. So those are the patterns that are available for the big bags. Of course, you can stitch any design you want on these, but it sure is nice to have one that someone's figured out for you already. I would decorate all my bags because why not? I think it would be fun. That way you can distinguish, I'm going to do the Queen Bee bag today. In addition to the big bags, they also have smaller bags. These measure 6 by 9 and available in the same colors, same zipper closure on top. They have just a tiny little pleat on the bottom, so they don't hold as much, but they are nice little bags for anything. I think what might be fun to do is to stitch one up, use it to keep your scissors, your needles, your thread, your seam ripper, anything you use for all your projects. Keep it in here, keep it with your big bags, your big project bags, and then when you're ready to stitch for the day, you take your big project bag and your little one and you're all set. And of course, there are patterns that go on these as well. I picked out a few here. This one is the Sew mini bag, done on the blue bag. And this one is shown with some buttons too. It's got a little pincushion tomato button and a heart. And this one is the Buzz bag. And then this would be a nice companion piece to the Queen Bee bag. It's also done on that misty or aqua colored bag and has a big bee at the top. Next up, we have the Boo bag. Little Halloween design, done on that pumpkin orange bag I like so much. Then we have the Lamb mini bag, done on the orchid or purple colored bag. And last, we have I Count. This one's cute. I like this one, and it's got to go with my stitch bag. It's also done on the olive green. It says I Count. And all of these are worked with DMC number 5 Pearl Cotton and Weeks number 5 Pearl Cotton. And of course that Weeks has DMC conversions if you prefer. And then some of them have buttons on them. You can put the buttons on, leave the buttons off, whatever you want. But those are the bags. Those are the patterns. What do you think? I think it'd be a lot of fun to stitch these up for yourself or someone else. Kind of a different project, a break from your bigger ones. And now stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to do that sewing method. Okay, let's talk about the sewing method of cross stitch. The sewing method is where you're always stitching from the top side of your fabric. You're not pulling the needle and thread to the back side and then coming to the front again. It's faster and easier when you're stitching on these bags, so it's worth a try. 2 things to remember. Always make sure your X's are going in the same direction. It sounds simple, but when you're moving around a lot and doing this different method, it sometimes gets confusing. And the second thing is you always have to plan ahead where your next stitch is going to be. Let's go ahead and get started. My needle's up in the upper right hand corner of my first square. I'm going to bring my needle down in the lower left of that square. I'm not going to pull it through, but I'm going to bring it back up again in the upper left hand corner of my square. Then I'm going to pull it through. And when I do that, it's completed the first leg of my X. I'm going to go down in the lower right and then up in the upper right of the next square. That completed my first X. Down in the lower left, up in the upper left, pull through, down in the lower right, up in the upper right of the next square, pull through, and then same thing. Now let's change directions. You do have to plan ahead, remember? So in this case, I'm going to be doing the stitch above. So down in the lower right, and then I'm going to go up 2 threads to the next square. Now I'm going to go down in the lower left, up in the upper left. Now I can't do exactly what I was doing before, but it doesn't really matter as long as your X's are all facing the right direction. So in this case, I'm going to go down in the lower right, and then I'm going to go horizontally to go up in the lower left square. Down in the upper right, up in the upper left, down in the lower right, up in the upper left. You see, it's really easy. It just takes a little bit of practice, but it's super easy and it's certainly a whole lot faster. Let's go to the stitch above again. See how easy that is? Give it a try. I think you're going to like it. It's certainly going to make your stitching your bags a whole lot easier. Let me know what you think. So what do you think? Do you like them? Do you love them? Are you going to stitch one? Let me know in the comments section below. We love to hear from you. I read them all and I love your comments. Thanks for visiting with us today, and we'll see you again soon.